The Padres make multiple moves, and we've got to talk about all of them. Big names on both ends of the exchange coming and going from the roster. But the one thing that is for sure is that the roster is getting better. So this is a good news video. What's going on, everybody? Christian Pedersen back with another episode of Padres Digest. This is the part of the show where I interrupt really quick to do the stereotypical YouTube thing of asking you really, really fast, can you hit the subscribe button, please? All right, let's go back to that announcement from the Padres. Luis Arraez and Jayson Heyward are back. They are being activated off of the IL. Yuli Gurriel designated for assignment. Mason McCoy on the 10-day IL. Let's talk about the going, the departing, the leaving before the players coming back. But like I said, all in all, I think it's getting better. I think it's a massive improvement for this team. And I think that, yes, that means you can look at the basics of the stats and everything and say, like, obviously Luis Arraez is an improvement over Yuli, but like I think it's an improvement because we are getting rid of Yuli Gurriel. And I've been saying this all season long. We should shoot him into the sun. We should put him out on an ice float. That's basically DFAing somebody is that. It is just you are giving up on this player and absolving yourself of their services at the major league level. I love this I don't think he ever was a great fit. I think that we'll talk about the coming back. Jayson Heyward is one of the players that was with Maldonado, Heyward, Gurriel. They kind of built up what I think the Padres were hoping was a veteran presence of stability that could like be a stable thing for the team. And it's a nice hypothetical, but it's not working. Yuli not hitting. I think that if we're talking about right now, what does this is roster spot 23 through 25. So this is not like jettisoning Yuli gives us, all of a sudden, like our starting, we can put in a new starting player to take these ton more reps. But I think it's just, we're getting rid of dead weight that even if we don't have somebody waiting immediately in the wings to come in and hit 350 at the major league level, I still think that getting rid of 40-year-old dead weight in exchange for somebody that improves net on one thing, even if it's speed, defensive versatility, slugging percentage, left-handed, like there is somebody who we will find who is one incarnation better in the long term to take that spot when everybody is playing and is done playing over the next couple of weeks of injury roulette. And you can check out some other videos that we've got going on about all the different, the pitching ones, the catching ones, this one, obviously just about the infield outfield position player changes. I think that Mason McCoy is a player who everybody seems to really like and want to project out being a part of the Padres organization success. And if anything, I don't, this is not something that I have direct, like they did this or these guys do this, but I think sometimes baseball plays a little bit of a roulette shell game with that 10-day IL. And like the way that Heyward went out at a time where it was like, sure, maybe he has some knee stuff, but also maybe it's just he's, on a little bit of a slump and we've got a guy in the minors who we can bring up. I would say that Mason McCoy going to the IL is a 0 out of 10 in terms of my personal injury panic or worry about him. He's a good player. I think that once the shuffle is all done and the Padres get the likes of Cronenworth or Lockridge or Merrill or whoever it is that you think fits like into the long-term picture back and the team settles down from some of these injury moves, that I would still hope that Mason McCoy is a part of the back end of the conversation. But for now, I think him going on to the 10-day IL is just a nice little holding place to not have to use up any of that minor league option. All right, let's talk about what's coming back. I'm hyperbolic if I say what's coming back is hope for the San Diego Padres, but based off of the offensive output for the Padres over the last 3 series between Tampa and Detroit especially, but maybe even, a series and a half before that. So it's been like 10 games plus of really incredibly lackluster performances, both in terms of just general output and specific situational output, runners in scoring position, ability to not ground into double plays or grounding into double, however you want to look at that metric. Like the Padres just have not been good at any part of it. So getting Arraez back will be fingers crossed, he just slots right back into first base full time. The concussion, all the sound bites from him and from the manager, Mike Shildt, have been stereotypically following the steps of he's in the concussion protocol, he's looking good, he's this, he's that, but also I think well within the way that they have been reasonably and rationally delivered, well within the safety curve of like he's probably genuinely fine, and they were just following concussion protocol. Back of my mind, I will always have Justin Morneau and some other players like that who concussions forever alter their ability with just all the quick little factors of baseball and hitting, that maybe this is going to be a limiter to their success. But right now, I think you can, fingers crossed, and jump in the comment section, let me know what you think, but I think we can slot Arraez is going to come back and keep hitting pretty close to where he was and where he is and where he can be. So that huge net positive for the Padres. I'll show you some BP that he was taking. There is another clip in here. I apologize. It is Jackson Merrill. I'm not going to apologize for showing you Jackson Merrill. I'm just apologizing for the out of contextness. But that one with the yellow sleeves, that was Luis Arraez taking some batting practice at Petco day before us recording this episode right now. And Merrill, I'll throw it in there as a tease for go watch the Jackson Merrill breakdown video we have. But that's just to give you a look. Like, his swing looks good. It is a limited clip, but it is, he's good. Like, I think he's there. I think he's fine. I think he's healthy. I'll show you. This is him. Not that his defense was ever in question, but this is him and Jake Cronenworth, and this is another pitch. Go watch the Cronenworth update that we got. But, he's hitting, he's fielding, he's doing all of those pieces. So I think, he slots back right in at first base. And I want to know from you guys, what do you think is the immediate impact? Does he come in and, is this the only, does this get us back to right where we need to be? Does this get the pressure off of other players and other players go? Maybe this is the only fix the Padres needed, and just having Arraez in there hitting 285, working his way up to 305, working his way up to 329, is building steam as the season goes on. I think that maybe that is the perfect fix. Maybe not. I don't know. But I think that right now you can see that this is a huge net positive. And then for Jayson Heyward, I think that the way that McCoy, I alluded to this earlier, the way that McCoy was kind of creatively moved, I think that was Heyward going on to the 10-day IL for himself with a little bit of a knee inflammation issue. Like I said, probably there was a little something there, but also probably it was just a chance to be like, hey, take a break, get yourself real dialed in for the next week and a half. We're going to give somebody else a chance to come up, fill the roster, see if maybe that provides a little spark. So Heyward, for all intents and purposes, should be as ready to go as his veteran self can be. I think the hope, or the fingers crossed right now, is that in the next couple of 10-day, week to 2-week time frame, Merrill should be back to testing out if he is baseball ready. And then once he proves that he's baseball ready, they will slot him back in. So Heyward has to exist right now, in my opinion, based off of what we have seen from Turso and from the other guys that have come through in the recent merry-go-round roundabout that has been the outfield. I think that Heyward just slots back in right now as a platoony guy for the next, he'll probably play 2 games and be a pinch hitter in 2 other games tops in the next 10 days. And then they can make the decision on Merrill comes back, and I think then you lock in Nando, Merrill, and Turso until further notice, or until anybody else comes back or changes anything else. With then Heyward, though, can be no longer viewed as a platoon guy. He can probably just go to be the veteran bench guy for the days off, for the defensive substitutions late in the game in a big situation, for the righty guy on the mound, situational lefty side. He can check all those boxes while producing better than, to close the loop of all this, Yuli Gurriel. So happy trails, Gurriel. Be gone with you. Positive news for the rest of this. I think the Padres, look, I don't want to blaspheme and say they're going to shoot right back up to right where they were, but I think they are on, we've had the skid. This is the start of it correcting. Whether or not they immediately overcorrect and go right back to the top, or this just gets us into the dogfight that this season was always going to be, we will find out, obviously, over the next couple days. But it's all good news, though. If you guys got an opinion, though, let me know. You are never shy to share it, so I appreciate that. And also, if you could hit the subscribe button, it would be great. Until next time, we'll talk to you soon.